Hi guys, it's Convo with Lo. Open-minded conversations with dope-ass individuals. And today I got one dope-ass individual. I've known this girl for a long time. Long time. Beautiful inside and out. I have Jay Michelle. She's a blogger right here in Dallas. But what have you been up to lately? Like, what is new with Jay Michelle? What is the rebranding of Jay Michelle?
So I think the rebranding started with the transition to Jay Michelle. So in 2020, I started shooting a podcast that I did not get to fully launch because one, it was having upload issues and I was trying to find people to work with. That's not going to work. And then I moved to Atlanta for a year, knew no one out there. And even in meeting people, people could just be sketchy as fuck.
You don't trust anybody
at all. And it was just I had two friends out there. I was unhappy. I didn't feel like I was getting any further in my career the way I wanted to. So I came back. I went back to corporate America, which is fine. That wasn't a really big issue for me. It just has been finding my creativity again. Wow. So yeah, it's just been really crazy, trying to get back to that because I was doing stage plays. I was doing, my vlogging and all that. And now it's just I'm a different person from even that. So trying to rebrand, but also be authentic to myself and find a way to do that while still in corporate America, because that is my main paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The hardest part is really just trying to get to a place where my craft and creativity makes money for me as well, because I'm not happy in corporate America.
Yeah.
As a Black woman in corporate America, it's
I struggle with anxiety as well.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about that? Because I struggle with anxiety, and I think I talked to somebody yesterday, and they struggle with social anxiety. But the difference between social anxiety and anxiety is you have anxiety 24/7. Social anxiety is only when you're
in certain social settings.
Yeah,
and so I deal with both of those. I lost it for the longest, but that's why I never liked to go out. I used to never like going to party because I just always had anxiety that something was going to happen, something was going to go wrong. And that's rooted in what? It's fear, and it's unnecessary, and I hate it. But noticing that gave me the tools to be able to understand how to combat it.
Your triggers.
Yeah, with social anxiety, but with everyday anxiety, it's stressful. It's hard. It's especially already being a Black woman in leadership going into the office. It's all right. What type of politics do we have going on today? What mood is this person going to be in? What bullshit is going to come up or may not? And it's always having to be on guard. And I think that further fuels the anxiety because I'm never in a state of rest. I tend to always be in a fight or flight state because I don't know what's about to happen. And I'm always got to be on my P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? I always got to watch my back. And for me, these shit happen for real. And so it can really take a toll, right? And so I've overcome a lot of that. I'm able to live by myself again and all that.
I remember.
But yeah, that definitely started the influx of anxiety. And it sucks because it doesn't necessarily get better. You learn how to cope with it, but it doesn't necessarily go away. And with medications and stuff, they work until they don't. And then you're trying to find another one. You're trying to see what works best for you. And this one causes weight gain, and this one causes women issues. Yeah, weight loss.
Sexual issues.
Yeah. And so it's just everything has a flip side to it. So trying to figure out the right balance is hard, but I'm realizing I can't be in a workplace where I have to feel like I'm in fight or flight all the time.
I feel like you're walking on eggshells
absolutely
in a minefield.
Right. And I hate it. So I'm getting to the point where I'm just oh, I don't know. I thought that was the norm, right? Because I was there for 8 years. So I thought that was going to be my experience at other places eventually. And 3 jobs later, it's not. That was
Nirvana.
It was. And that was also and it's not the same places. It's just I don't know how much longer I can deal with that.
Right. You have this passion within you, and it hasn't left. Right. I can hear it in your voice, of what you really, really want to do. So you just have to use that 9 to 5 as just straight bread. Like, this is the bread to fuel my dream until I can get to a point where I'm making money off my dream.
Searching for that balance has been such a learning curve because you think you're doing it wrong, but then you learn, like, oh, no, this is actually what it looks like.
This is what makes sense to me. And it's kind of like a trial and error thing. The thing I've been doing is meditating, trying to get back to my roots and myself. Next step is yoga. I need to really find time to really just kind of get movement in my body. No matter what you do to fight off depression, like, you must move. Like, dancing, yoga, like, even if it's just like just in your room and you just put on a song and you just dancing, like, that is the ultimate way to fight off depression.
Yeah, because it's a physical and mental thing, and we don't always realize that. Like, sometimes we're mentally stressed, sometimes we're physically stressed, and we don't know that our body is stressed until our body tells us, until we're sick, until, you know, we're having back issues. Oh shit, my back went out. I'm only in my 30s. So that makes a lot of sense, though. I think finding that balance as a woman and a mom is so important, and I really don't like when people try to tell us we can't do it all or we can't have it all, because we can.
Yes.
It might be in smaller doses for certain amounts of certain periods of time, but we can.
We really can.
Yeah.
And it's your dream, your passion is your baby.
That's true.
It's your baby. So it's kind of like you got to learn, just like I have to learn the balance between mom and low. You got to learn that, you know, corporate. And then I gotta get to take my baby. Like, I gotta take care of my baby at the end of the day. Like, that's like
trying to figure that shit out is real.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm like, should I audition and do another stage? But like, I just have so much going through my head. Like, I need updated headshots. Like, there's just so much. Absolutely. And it's getting there. It's just less being comfortable in my skin and who I am, and two, like, not worrying about what other people say or think. And I think that is a struggle for me, in a mix of out of protection for my corporate job, because I am a Capricorn. I don't like to be broke. I like to make my good money. I work hard. You know what I'm saying? So I never want anything to take away.
Such a true Capricorn. Capricorns are the workers of the signs. Like, they gonna put in that work.
Right. Just, I'm a very determined person. Even if corporate isn't forever for me, I'm gonna still work my ass off while I'm there. Right. And I still want my recognition, my promotions, my merit increase. I want all my shit. You know what I'm saying? Also, I know it's also the attachment to the church, right? I love Jesus, and that doesn't stop. But being involved in certain areas of the church, there's a level of judgment that comes with it. And my convictions are not your convictions, are not his or anyone else's. And so that's where I struggle, because I don't really give a fuck if you think I came off as an angry black woman. Yeah, it's just a thing. And for me, right. And for me also, I don't feel a conviction behind it. If the last time it got really exhausting, and that was discouraging for me. So this time it's just kind of fighting against those things and not worrying about the shit that people say. Like, people are gonna talk.
Talk a little bit about you being a Capricorn. How do you feel like that has to come into play with your, first of all, your corporate job, but not just that, your passion and your pursuits of your passion?
So I think that me being a Capricorn really explains, like, the core basis of my personality. But it's customized and it's also unique to each person. Yeah. I am hardworking and I'm determined. And I have to feel like I am successful. When it comes to the Capricornism, like, it's just important for me to feel successful. But what I learned is like, I can be successful and good at something, but I'm not enjoying it. And so I'm now in the process of rerouting myself to a place of doing what I enjoy and being successful at that. But I can't let the voices in my head or voices of other people overshadow what I'm doing, what I want to do. And so, but more than anything else, it's just the determination is always going to be there. But I don't know. I think the person makes the sign, not the sign makes the person. Like, do we have a base level of similar characteristics, mindset, that type of thing? Yes. But the way that I play that out, I have to find a healthy way to do that. At least for me.
Yeah. Well, out of the signs, you know, there are 4 cardinal signs, and those
Yes,
are the
I'm a
leaders.
cardinal sign.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, and is it Aries? I think it might be Aries.
But yeah, I know it's those 3. I always forget the 4th one. But yeah, as a cardinal sign, I am a good leader, and I don't mind that. But I don't feel like I always have to lead. Like I've worked on not feeling like I need to be in control, because that's a lot of responsibility. That's
being able to, like, you, of course, your innate skill set is leadership.
Absolutely.
It's just within you.
Right.
Now, one thing I will say, I have noticed a lot about Capricorns, they have this twinge of innocence to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, it's kind of like a childlike innocence in a way. And one thing I do want to touch on, the hangout.
Yeah.
You were saving it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit.
I love how you're like, you were not.
It was on lockdown.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was. Honestly, I think that, so the innocence thing, I think, is right. I think as Capricorns, we're very commonsensical. We're not usually super spontaneous. We're not super adventurous, you would say. I like that. Like, we think through stuff and we process it. So we're not very spontaneous or very like spur of the moment all the time. When it comes to my sexuality and choosing to save myself from marriage, or that was the attempt, right? I think it was because, I learned that it was because of unresolved past trauma. And it was an easy band-aid to stick on it and just say, oh, well, now I'm doing it for God.
Yeah.
Because before then I was doing it, I wasn't doing it because I was afraid. I was afraid of being taken advantage of. I was afraid of the feelings that had come with, someone touching you or making you uncomfortable. So I think from close calls of sexual assault and, people touching you without your permission and things of that nature, I was never raped, but definitely touched.
And I think every woman
has experienced that discomfort. And so at a young age, I developed early, so I had the gaze of a lot of older men way before I should have. And so the feelings that I associated with sexual touch and with sex were those that were negative. And I didn't know if I would be able to turn those off. I was always afraid, because what if I can't go through it and they just take it from me? I was always having thoughts that like that. Scary. Yeah. And so it took therapy to really realize and dig into that, because I didn't realize it. When I really started sitting with myself and was just like, why the fuck am I doing this? I was like, that's when it was really like, oh, that's what I've attached to this, or that is what has come with this. And I no longer wanted to feel that way. I wanted to be able to reclaim it to be a good thing.
And sorry to cut you off, but it's kind of like when you came to know yourself truly, like, were you able to open that door?
Yeah. Yeah. And so it was definitely that. And it was also understanding what I do and don't control within that, right? And not allowing someone else to take my power, or assuming that someone wants to take that away from me.
Yeah. Of course you want to do it with someone you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? Like, that gets you wet right there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So getting to that space was so important. And so once I finally was with someone I was comfortable with, it was pretty, I would say it was easy. I'm not going to say it was easy peasy, but it was definitely like
a smooth transition.
Yes. Because I was like, oh, I trust this person.
You felt safe.
Yes. And then I realized also, like, I require a certain level of emotional connection and safety. So I'm not, so far I haven't been a one night stand kind of girl, because like I have no emotional connection and I have no feeling of safety with you. Now as an adult, I'm just like, you know, I want to be able to know you and I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like,
if you don't know that person or have like that passion for that person, it really
it's
is
not
like
that great.
It's really like shit. I could have did it by myself.
Right. Let's be very clear. Sex can be blinding and can cloud you, but emotional connections with people that are extremely deep can kind of have that same effect. When you're blinded by love, whether it's based in emotions and feelings or emotions and feelings and sex or just sex, there is a level of blindness you're going to have when it comes to that person. You're going to make excuses for them because you want it to work, because you want you're finally feeling that level of intimacy that you've been craving, because it's really not always sex that we crave, it's intimacy. It's having that connection with somebody who is as open and free and as safe as you are in that moment, to connect with each other in that way. Even if it's just laying there naked and just chilling after, that's a level of intimacy, that's a level of connection, and that's what we really be craving. It's not always the sex. And so then you just start to once you start to pull apart, if you are emotionally intertwined with that person, it's still like peeling Velcro apart.
Yeah.
You're still going to have hurt feelings. And so having that deep connection with somebody on the emotional end and then on the sexual end, I think there's still issues on either side. I think the reality is that our sexuality should not be the crux of our level of holiness or relationship or measure for our relationship with God, especially in totality. And I think that we can tell people all day to hold themselves physically, but that doesn't mean that they're mentally or spiritually pure. And I think that people get pats on the back for saving themselves when they're really using it as a manipulation tactic, or they're using it to be rewarded or to be holier than thou. Like I remember hearing a guy, I actually did this, like video thing. It was with some popular content creator. There was a guy there and he was like, well, I'm a virgin and I'm saving myself for marriage, so I don't want no chick that got a lot of bodies. I don't know why, because you don't know what the fuck you doing unless your ass been watching porn. So you need somebody with some level of experience, somebody, or y'all both gonna be laying here looking dumb.
She said y'all both gonna be looking dumb. You wild.
You gonna be trying to figure out where you're supposed to go or asking your homeboys, or you're gonna look at porn. Like there is not using sex as the only measure of purity is so irresponsible. And it is something that should be treasured and that should be protected, because it can have a hold on you, right? But that's just like so many other things. Alcohol can have a hold on you. Drugs can have a hold on you. You have to be careful with those things as well. So it's just like, know your triggers. Like that's the thing for me now too. Like even when getting to know guys, like you don't got to WYD me all day, my boy.
Girl,
you don't got to WYD me all day, my boy.
Good morning, beautiful.
Hello. How's it going? Have a great day at work. Don't Grand Rising me. You won't get a response. But what you can do is, check in. Hey, I hope you have a great day.
Thinking of you.
Thinking of you. Would love to talk with you more tonight or whatever else. But WYD me at 2:13 on a Tuesday afternoon. What? I'm at work.
Person does not respond. They don't love me. They don't like me.
But this is how. I used to be like this, and I had to work my way out of that too. Like because for me, it's if you take too long to respond, like, oh my god, are you upset at me? Did I do something? Did I say something? Did you change your mind? Are you switching up? People are going to be people, right? So I can't sit here waiting on your messages, and then I'm not going to be in a rush to respond to you.
I think that's an anxiety thing too.
Absolutely, because we want to try to prevent it before something occurs, and we can't control everything. And so anxiety is centered around a lack of control.
That's not say that again.
It is.
Repeat. I'm serious.
It's society is centered around a lack of control.
That's a word right there. That's a fucking word right there.
Word. And when you understand that, you learn that you just have to let some things go, or you can't control everything. That's how you're able to kind of take steps to get certain things back. Now, there are physical reactions that come along with anxiety, which is what we struggle to manage.
The panic attack.
Absolutely.
Ooh, Jesus.
And those things can very much be out of our control at times. So I think that's the hard part about it. About anxiety for me is I can't control the physical. That's what makes me so sad.
It's been a pleasure talking with J. Michelle, and we are definitely going to check back in with her probably in the next 3 months here. 3
Absolutely.
to 6 months, just to check and see what you're doing. You know, I want to check in with you back then. I really appreciate your transparency, and not only that, but your wide range of knowledge. It was just very expansive.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. So I'm so glad to see you. It's been Convos with Lo, open-minded conversations with dope-ass individuals. Definitely check out J. Michelle. It's been Convos with Lo, open-minded conversations with dope-ass individuals. Definitely check out J. Michelle.